Hi everyone, I'm kalimsiYT and I'm back with another speed build, and today I am building a Spellcaster family home, and I'm building on the lot Creekside Corner, which we got in the game pack The Sims 4 Realm of Magic. Now, with it being October, I wanted to go ahead and kind of work on some kind of spooky lots in the game, and I decided to work on Glimmerbrook, which again came with Realm of Magic, which is a whole pack about spellcasters and all that, if you didn't know. And I have always really liked this world. I feel like that game pack in general is just really slept on. I really enjoy it. I think there's a lot of fun like storytelling things you can do with it, and I've been meaning to go in and do this world because there's really not a whole lot to it. There are 5 lots in the actual world itself, and then within the world you can go through like this magic portal, and then you can get taken into the magic realm, and there's 1 lot in that. So only having 6 lots there total, it's really not that bad. And coming into this build, I already had 1 lot in Glimmerbrook finished, so now that this house is done, 2 are done, so I only really have 4 left, which isn't really a whole lot. I think it's definitely doable to finish in a reasonable amount of time. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to do it all in 1 month, although I feel like that would have been really cool. So I'm just doing this one today, and I just wanted this to be just a nice family home for spellcasters who live in this world. So this house has 3 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms, and there's also an office in this house that you could easily convert to a 4th bedroom if you wanted to, so you can house a decent amount of Sims on this lot. I think currently this lot with my furnishings sleeps 6 Sims if you put 2 in each of the double beds, which is pretty good. You can definitely do a whole lot with that, and I really kind of had some trouble getting this main structure going right now. As you can see, I kind of have like at least a general idea of what the structure is going to look like, but I think I did this build like 3 times. Like this is like my 3rd attempt doing the build, and I was looking at an inspiration picture when I was building this. I'll put a picture of it up on screen. I found it on Pinterest. I find so many of my like build inspo pics there because I feel like there are just a lot of good things that you can look at. Really like housing of all styles are on there, and so it really works in each of the different worlds, because I feel like each world in the game has a bit of a different housing style to it, and I usually like to look there to find a lot of my inspo for building. And like every other build that I share with you guys on this channel, this house is going to be for my save file as well. I definitely want all of Glimmerbrook to be redone before I decide to put it out there. I mean, ideally, I would love every lot of every world to be done before I put it out there. I don't really think that's going to be super realistic though. I feel like I'll get kind of close in certain worlds to finishing them, and then I'll feel like really good about it, and then they'll announce a new expansion pack or a game pack that has a new world to it and adds like 10, 15 more lots that I'll have to do at some point. So I don't know how realistic it will be for me to finish every single lot in the game. I think that's a little bit ambitious. It would be really cool though. I think at one point it definitely was doable, but now I don't know. I think we have at least like 21, 22 worlds. I could be wrong. Let me look up that right now. How many worlds in The Sims 4? Okay, as of December of last year, there were 27 worlds, but we have since gotten 2 expansion packs, which added 2 worlds. Oh gosh, I don't know what the Enchanted by Nature world's called. Is it Innisbrook? That one, and then Gibby Gibby that came with Adventure Awaits. So I think we might be at 29 worlds, and that's crazy. Like, that is so many lots to have to build on. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get to a point where every single lot in every single world will be rebuilt, but that'd be a cool goal one day. I think having these like tiny game pack worlds like Glimmerbrook, Forgotten Hollow, Magnolia Promenade's a pretty easy one, and then obviously I'd like Willow Creek, Oasis Springs, Newcrest to be done at some point. I've actually done a decent amount of Brightchester as well, and then I would also like Windenburg, Brindleton Bay, and Del Sol Valley, like, for sure done. And maybe Mount Komorebi too. Oh my gosh, I keep, I'm just naming more and more now that I think about it. But I would like all of those lot worlds and maybe some more at some point done with just all of my lots from the game, because I really do enjoy building. I think it's really, I mean, I feel like I never actually play this game. I more so will just build and create sims to live in the houses. I don't know if anyone else is similar. Although I tell myself that once all of the builds and all of my save files are done, and all the sims that I create in my save file are done, and I have everything like lore-wise set up, then I'll go and play the game. And I've been telling myself that for almost 2 years at this point, so I haven't, I'm not really sure if that's a very realistic thing to tell myself. Now, what I have done before is I've made a copy of my save file, and I've made sims, and then I've actually gone and played with them a bit. But then as I go back to my original save file and I add more and more lots and more sims, I don't really want to play with that copy I made, because then it's not up to date, you know? And so I guess there really is no way to win that battle. I think it's just gonna be what it is, and I, over time, can choose to add more lots if I want to. But I do enjoy playing the game. I wish I played it more, and I hope at some point I can get a decent amount of worlds in this game finished. Kind of hoping that, well, I was originally hoping that they would kind of chill out on the packs and that I could catch up, but as of the last few years, it doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case, and they're just pumping out more and more content, which I can't say I'm a super big fan of, because it's just more and more money that you have to spend. I mean, granted, you don't have to spend it. I don't own all the packs. That's like crazy pants to afford all of those without being like given like free creator codes or anything like that. I think that's all I mean. And if you're listening to this and you bought all the packs with your own money, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I cannot do that. I do get a lot of them on sale though, which is really nice because I feel like they have sales like all of the time, and that is really handy in picking them up. I never get any pack at full price. I don't think any of them are really worth it at full price, just given the amount of content that's in them. But I think if they were to kind of slow down the rate that they pumped out new packs, especially expansion packs, because those add the new worlds, maybe some of the game packs too, but I feel like we haven't gotten a game pack in a long time. Anyways, I just went on a big tangent. I would love to have every single lot and every single world done, but I'm not sure how attainable that goal is. I'm going to try though. I think that the more I do, the better, and I would love to be able to get to that goal at some point, but we'll see what I end up doing. Anyways, back to talking about the build itself here. I have finished a decent amount of the exterior in that I have a lot of the windows picked out. I don't have every single window, and I have the siding done, which I don't know about you guys, but having the windows and siding done in a build, I feel like it's just so nice, and I can fully move on. And I like picking out all of that, like windows wise, but I hate doing siding. Siding is like my enemy in a sense. I just never know what to do, and I feel like it always takes me a really long time, and there are so many options in the game, but I feel like none of them quite fit exactly what I want at the time whenever I'm building it. But so I tend to cut out the siding in my builds whenever I am editing them, just because it does take me a long time, unless for some reason I am doing one and the siding comes together very quickly. I think I'm pretty sure I cut out the siding for this one too, just because it is kind of painful to watch. And right here you can see that I am merging in some fake roof pieces into the build, and the reason I'm doing that is because on the third floor of this house I actually have a bedroom up there, and I want there to be windows so your sim has some sort of natural light. But in order to do that, to create the dormer, I'd have to put a roof on top because it would look weird if it's a flat wall. But on the top of the third floor, it's currently flat because that's just how it ended up working with the roofing, and I didn't really want to keep that. And so to kind of get around it, I couldn't put a real roof on there because then there would just be a roof jutting up and it would look weird. So I used one of those awnings. I think the one I ended up using for this build was from Seasons, and I used a tool mod and I was able to lower it and put it in place. So that way the dormers look like they have a roof there, but they're actually not there, so that way nothing looks weird, and in gameplay you don't even notice it at all. It's really handy, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. And then what I'm currently doing right now is I'm making kind of garden beds, and I'm using some live edit fences and the tool mod in order to get them in place here. And if you're not aware, I'm using the Better Build By mod and the tool mod in order to get this. It really organizes the debug menu in a really nice way so that I can, you know, have access to those items really easily, as opposed to just typing in all the cheats and then going and figuring it out and having to really scroll through it. It's like in the name, it's pretty organized. So I use that mod all the time. When that mod is broken or down, I don't even play the game, because it's just so essential for what then if it were not, but it's not so fast that it's hard to keep up with. And if someone disagrees with me and says it's hard to keep up with how fast I do it, just let me know and I can make it just a little bit slower. But at least for me, whenever I watch over these videos when editing them, it's not super hard for me to follow, and so I kind of feel like that's probably a good speed to go with. But anyways, this video sped up was an hour long, which is crazy, and so obviously I could not keep all of that in here, and so now it is 40 minutes, so I cut out a third of it, which I feel like is pretty good. It's definitely still kind of long, but I am just in general a pretty slow builder, and I mean there's nothing wrong with that. I just take my time more than most people, I think, and so I think what would take this person like maybe 4 or 5 hours to build this, it probably took me 7 or 8. And actually I think, not sped up, this was like a good 7 hours of footage here that I worked on over the course of a week or so. That's another thing whenever I build, is I can never really, unless I'm doing a smaller lot, I can't really finish a build in one sitting. It does usually take me a while to do it, and maybe this is, I don't know if other people experience this whenever they play video games, but I have a hard time of like sitting and staying and playing a video game for hours and hours at a time. I feel like my limit is usually about 2-ish hours, and then I have to get up and take a break, which is fine. I think that's just how I am. I have a hard time like really getting in the zone and like looking at the computer screen for a long period of time. And so I just have to take a break, and that is what it is. But I know some people who can literally spend like all day just like getting immersed in the game, and I wish that were me. I feel like that'd be a lot more fun. I'd probably build a little bit faster, be able to get builds and videos out at a bit of a faster rate. And I mean, granted, now that I've been kind of doing this a little bit more, I have been getting faster at it, and just more efficient in general. And so I don't know, maybe that will change for me at some point. But as of right now, I just feel like I usually do need a break when playing video games for a long time. And I don't know, maybe you guys are similar. If so, let me know, because I feel like sometimes I'm kind of the only one that's like that. Whenever you see YouTube videos of simmers playing the game, or like streams, and they're playing for like 6-7 hours straight, which is awesome. I wish I could do that, and that was like my job. But no, I do have to take breaks, and I do look at a computer screen for my day job, where after I'm done, I don't really enjoy doing that for a long period of time afterwards. So I think that's another thing that kind of contributes to me having to take breaks a decent amount. But anyways, I am talking over a lot of the interior right now, which we've moved on into. And so you can see that I have furnished the entranceway, and then right now I'm doing the dining room. And I'm pretty happy with how the entire interior turned out. I think this build looks pretty good in my opinion. One thing I really like about this dining room in particular, and I actually go in and do that after I'm done with the dining room, so you're not going to see it like right now, but you'll see it at some point, I promise, is I go in and I change like the chandelier light that is above the dining room table, and I make it kind of like this purple color, which is not something that I always forget that I can go in and kind of edit the lights, like the dimness, the color, which you can do with a Better Build by mod as well. So yeah, I did that, and I feel like that really changed the whole vibe of the place to make it just look, I guess, more magical, which, given that we are in like the magic world in The Sims, that was kind of the overall vibe I was wanting. I definitely wanted it to seem like this house was on the older side, and that the family who lives here has been living here for a long time, and that generations of Sims this Sim family has lived in this household. And in order to kind of do that, I feel like I tried to clutter it up a little bit, but not like too much, if that makes sense. And I didn't want the decor to be super duper modern. I wanted it to look nice, but I still wanted like some traditional aspects to it. And I feel like the wallpaper, some of the furniture kind of represents that, but I definitely wanted to include some clutter in here too, which you can see I'm currently cluttering up a hutch in the dining room as well, just to kind of, I don't know, get that message across. So this main level here is going to have the entranceway, a dining room, a living room, a kitchen, and then there's almost like a greenhouse conservatory area just off of the kitchen. And I decided to make this kind of like a magic room in a way for your Sims to go and kind of practice magic. One thing I've been wanting to do with all of the Glimmerbrook houses is, since all of these Sims are going to be spellcasters and have magic powers, I wanted kind of an area in their house dedicated towards that, where they can go and kind of just do their thing with it. I don't know if you've ever saw like the Disney show Wizards of Waverly Place. I think aired in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I watched that a lot as a kid. I really enjoyed that show. But they had like what was called like a magic lair in their house, or really it was in like the closet of the freezer of their sub shop that they also owned. But anyways, it was a dedicated space for the Sims to kind of practice magic, place like cast spells, learn, and I kind of wanted that to be a part of my save file as well. Like, I definitely wanted a place for just your Sims to kind of like live their life as normal, but then also an area for them to kind of hone their skill. I guess it's similar to a skill building room in a normal Sims house that I usually like to include as well. But yeah, in a minute we'll get into the actual magic room area, and you'll kind of see what I mean. I put a lot of Realm of Magic stuff in there, just stuff I would imagine that spellcasters are doing kind of on their day-to-day basis. And by the conservatory, you can see that I'm currently furnishing the kitchen right now, and I'm pretty happy with how the kitchen turned out as well here too. I'm using a different tile than I usually do. I think this one is from Businesses and Hobbies, although I could be wrong, and I'm using almost like blue appliances that came with the Realm of Magic game pack, and I think the black and the gray and the blue, they kind of work. This house, I definitely wanted to have kind of like a darker aesthetic, darker vibe to it, a darker look than maybe normal. I wanted there to be like a lot of black in it, which you can definitely see on the outside with the windows, but I wanted that to carry and translate inside as well. And I feel like I accomplished that. You can see just now I went in and I replaced the dining room table back in the dining room, and I made that light like a purple-ish, and I feel like it really just looks a lot cooler, a lot more, I guess, like whimsical in a sense, and that was really the goal there. And now I'm going in and furnishing that conservatory, and you can see I'm using the cauldron, I'm pulling out some desks, some like little dressers, and little I just stuff that's meant to represent a lot of storage. And the Sims that I imagine living here, I feel like would be utilizing this room a lot in their day-to-day lives. And I guess I'll go and I'll talk a little bit about the Sims that I imagine living here. And so I currently have this house set up for 5 Sims in total living here. There's gonna be 2 parents, a teenager, and then 2 children. And so the parents in this household, I imagine that they are small business owners, and one of the lots in Glimmerbrook is going to be kind of like a shopping area, and they own a couple of the shops in there. So I imagine the dad in this household owns a wand shop, and he specializes and spends a lot of his time building wands in the game. And you can kind of see right now I'm cluttering up this desk in the magic room, and I'm putting a bunch of wands on here because I imagine he is like going and he's like handcrafting them, making them magical or whatever you go do to make the wands work. He's doing that in this room, as you can see. And so I feel like he would spend a lot of his time here doing that, and that's kind of his story. And then the mom in this household, she owns a potion shop. Maybe she'll also have brooms and other stuff there too for your Sims to buy, but I think her bread and butter is really potions, and so that's why I put the cauldron in there, because I imagine she spends a lot of her time when she's at home kind of making potions that she then takes and sells to the shop. And I think in the shop I'll also have kind of an area for her to work and brew potions as well, but I imagine she spends a lot of time at home kind of prepping and getting that set up. And so that is what they're up to. And then the 3 kids that live here, the two kids are gonna be twin boys, I decided, and I really don't have a whole lot in my head as to like what is going on with them, because they're just children, and I don't know, actually I haven't double checked this, but I don't think that spellcaster children have access to magic while they're in like the kid life stage. Like I think you have to age up into a teenager in order to kind of unlock those abilities. So they're just kind of kids doing their thing, not a whole lot to them. Sorry, that's boring. If you have any ideas for them, let me know, because I would like them to have some sort of significance, but as of right now I haven't thought of anything. And then the teenager in this household, her room is really cool. I'll point it out whenever we get there. I'm actually really proud of that one. But I imagine that she is a student at the magic school that I'm going to be building in the magic realm, which hopefully that video will be coming out not too long after this one. It'll probably be a few weeks, which I'll get into why in a bit. But I would imagine she is a student there, and she's currently learning, just magic, ranking up in the different spellcaster ranks that you can do. But she is a very smart spellcaster, and I don't really want to spoil this right now before I'm finished with it, but I would imagine this school that I'm building, there is a lot of lore and there's a lot of hidden bits in the build that I'm going to incorporate. Specifically, I want there in the library to be like a restricted area and like kind of like dungeons in a sense, and I want there to be an object that she is hunting for, that she's read about in these books, that she is wanting to find to kind of unlock, so she can like essentially be like this really advanced spellcaster. I think the tome I'm gonna put in there, I haven't fully decided yet, but I think it might be the immortality one because spellcasters aren't immortal in the game, and I think that'd be a cool kind of book to work for. And so her time is really spent when she's at school, like learning, but then specifically she's wanting to figure out this mystery of where this immortality tome is and how she can level up and learn it. And I imagine she has some friends at school as well that she's kind of hunting this down with and kind of working with, living with, and doing her thing there. And so that's kind of her story. And as I build the magic school and I fill Glimmerbrook with other sims that are gonna live here, I think I'm definitely going to mold this a bit. I haven't, because that's not final, what's in my head right now for that story. But that's just kind of what I'm like preliminarily thinking, and we'll just see how it goes from there. I think it's going to be that general thing, but yeah, I feel like the teen who lives in this household is kind of like the main character of the house in a sense, and then the parents, you know, have their businesses, and that's awesome too. But I feel like if I were to jump into this household and play any of the Sims, I'd probably focus on her because hers is like the most interesting in my opinion. But I mean, that's not to say that the other Sims are boring. Maybe the children are as of right now. I should come up with something for them. I think that's probably the least I can do. But I'll do that at a later date because I don't know what I'm gonna do for them right now. So, but again, if you have any ideas, let me know. Anyways, talking over the build again, you can see I just finished furnishing the living room, and I'm pretty happy with how that one turned out too. And I used a couch set that I have never used before, and it's from the Lovestruck expansion pack, like those green couches that you saw me place. There's like couches and chairs, and there's like a little ottoman, and I feel like it really went perfectly for this vibe of house. Like, it's ornate enough and fancy enough that it's like, I feel like would fit with this house, but it's not super expensive or super weird looking. Like, I feel like a lot of furniture in this game can be sometimes, and so I used that, and then I included like a little area for a chess table. There's some bookshelves that I kind of put some clutter objects on. I ended up using a lot of the familiar orbs in the game because I feel like, one, those are good clutter items, but two, maybe the mom's potion, maybe she also sells familiars. I haven't fully figured that out yet, but it would make sense if that was the case and there was like a bunch scattered around the house. And yeah, right now I'm also going in and I'm furnishing the bathroom. This is the only bathroom that you'll see me furnish in the house, despite there being 3.5 of them. And just that's really just because I think bathrooms are kind of boring to watch. They all look the same, this general vibe. I use the same sink, toilet, shower in all of them, but I just wanted to show you one so you can see what it looks like. At the end of this video, whenever I include screenshots, I'll go ahead and I'll put the rest of the bathrooms in there as well, so you can see what they look like. And then if you do decide to download this lot, you'll have the access to the bathrooms as well. And now I'm going into the office, and I kind of imagine this to be a study space for the teen when she's home from the magic realm, but also in a sense like an area for the father of the house to again work on his wands and kind of do his thing. I mentioned earlier that I kind of want this house to have been around for a long time and that the same family for generations has lived in this house, and I kind of imagined that this office here would probably house a lot of books and historical records that would indicate that, you know, from like, I don't know, their genealogy or some sort of thing like that. And so I put a bookshelf there, as you can see, and I also have these cabinets as well. And I don't know, I hope it kind of comes across whenever this build is done. You can kind of see that this house is meant to have been around for a while. It's kind of challenging in a sense because it's not like you can really include in the game like very specific things that are meant to be like heirlooms, although I guess you can like make heirlooms. I did put one of those like keepsake boxes in the game, so you can pass things on, but I didn't go in and like I guess, distinguish those items or like allocate them. So I may do that in like setting up the lore for Glimmerbrook. I definitely want the a couple of Sims who lived in this house like before the current generation to have like their gravestones in the backyard. I think that would be cool. I may go in, and I'll definitely go in and do that while setting up the lore for this house, because I think that would be cool to have kind of ghosts roaming around your lot if you want to. I mean, I feel like if you're going to be playing with occults in The Sims, you should probably like lean into it. I'm not like a huge occult player. I do enjoy playing with them on occasion. I really like building for them. Like I find these types of builds to be really fun. I like the realism ones too, of like normal houses in the game, but every so often, especially this time of year with it being Halloween, I think it's so fun to go in and kind of build stuff that I normally wouldn't, or things you don't see in everyday life. Like at least where I live, houses like this aren't super common to see, and I feel like it looks so cool. You're definitely not going to see a magic castle school that I'm also currently building, and I think it's fun to kind of lean into it and just kind of embrace the season, and that's what I did here. I'm really happy with how this house did turn out. So one thing that I like to do in these voiceovers is just kind of talk a little bit about kind of like what I have going on in my real life outside of The Sims. And I figure we're a half hour into the video now, so if I talk about it now and you've made it this far in the video, maybe you kind of care a bit, maybe you don't. And you know what? This is my channel, so I'm going to talk about what I want. But anyways, I am moving within like the next week or so. And so I have a lot of stuff in a storage unit from when I was in college. For context, this is like my first apartment that is my own. Like, since I've graduated college, I've currently been like just living with my parents for the time being while I kind of get set up with work and stuff. And yeah, so I've picked out a place, I signed a lease, and I move in a few days, which is pretty exciting. I think because of that though, I'm probably not gonna have the time or resources to play The Sims for a little bit. I don't have a desk that I really want to set this on, or set up my computer on right now, and so I'm gonna have to work on buying one of those. Really just buying furniture in general. I have to buy a couch and dining room chairs, which is gonna hurt in a sense that those are expensive items, but it's okay. It has to get done at some point. Last year when I moved into like my college house for my senior year, I had to buy a bed, which no one tells you how expensive it is to sleep. Like having to buy a bed frame and a mattress and sheets and a comforter. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I don't have to do that this time around though, which is really nice because I don't want to have to spend all that extra money, but I will have to put down some money for just some basic furniture pieces, which I'm willing to do. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to mention that I'm moving and I'm excited. Back to the actual build itself, you can see I'm currently moving on into the parents' bedroom, and one thing I kind of wanted to mention, and you may have seen me place a couple of times in certain areas throughout the build, is that I'm putting rotary phones in the house, and I have a reason for this. And you may be thinking, well, they have cell phones in the game, why would they need a rotary phone? But I kind of wanted to imagine that cell phones don't work between like the normal human world and the magic realm, and in order to communicate with Sims from the magic realm when you are not in the magic realm, you have to use the rotary phone and like physically pick up and call them. Granted, this isn't like an actual feature in the game. You can't actually use those phones to call Sims, and they're not going to like talk to each other through them, but I feel like for storytelling purposes it'd be pretty fun to just go ahead and include those. I feel like it's like a pretty fun, I don't know, just a little tidbit that I want to include in the save file. But now I'm moving on into the teenagers room, and I love how this room turned out. I feel like it looks so cool. I kind of wanted to imagine that at one point this was an attic and she was maybe like as a child somewhere else, but then at some point she was like, you know what, I don't want to live in this area anymore. I want to live in the attic. And so her family went and converted this bedroom into a place for her to live, and I feel like it looks so cool. There is the main bedroom area that you see whenever you come up from the stairs. Maybe privacy wise that would be a little bit rough if this was like real life, but in The Sims it doesn't matter, which is pretty cool. So there's that, and then the top level of the turret that I included in this build, I kind of made like a little study area that I imagine she spends a lot of time studying, like spells and just all that stuff in there. And then there's also her own bathroom here as well. Like that, I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff in there that I feel like looks pretty cool that I would love if I were a teenager living in this house. So I really am happy with how this room turned out, and I like just the overall colors in here as well, kind of the blue and purple vibe. I definitely still wanted to make it look like a teenager lived in here though, so I made sure to include some posters to kind of clutter it up despite it being like supposed to be like kind of magical. And yeah, I'm just cluttering up the desk right now, and honestly I feel like there isn't a whole lot else going on here. I think in like when I'm setting up the save file, I will probably go in here again and I'll include some little nods to kind of what her story is going to be, like finding the immortality tome or whatever. I'll go ahead and do that later, but you can see I also put another rotary phone in her room on her nightstand because I would like to imagine that, you know, she still has friends in the magic realm that she wants to communicate with even when she's at home, and that's how she calls them. And yeah, study area is pretty straightforward. I was able to fit a desk in here as well as a chair for your Sims to kind of sit in. There's not like a whole lot of space here, but I feel like there's enough to where your Sims should be able to go in and kind of do what they need to do here. And I used the computer. I think this computer came with Cottage Living, and it's supposed to look like a typewriter in a sense, and I really like that. I didn't really want to include a whole lot of technology in this house because I don't know, I feel like it just kind of takes away from the overall magical vibe that's going on in the room. I feel like having like a flat screen TV in what's supposed to be a really old house that's supposed to have like magic with it, I don't know, I feel like it just doesn't go with it, and so I kind of leaned away from it, and using that computer is just like as like a typewriter looking thing, I feel like just looks a bit better. I did include a TV in this house in the living room, but it's one of those really small ones that's like kind of like a box. It's not very advanced, but your Sims will still get their fun need up if they need it, so it really doesn't matter in the game. And then this last room I'm working on here is for the twin boys. I'm also pretty happy with how this room turned out. I really like the red and blue color scheme to it, and I was able, because this room is massive, I was able to go ahead and put one of those like walk-in wardrobes from the Get Together expansion pack. Anyway, I was able to put that in there, and I still had tons of room to spare, which I thought was pretty cool. And I did want to make it like give them some personality, although I don't know what their kind of role like story-wise is going to be yet. I definitely wanted them to have like just like a kind of fun room, and so you can see now I'm putting like stuffed animals and trains and all that fun stuff up on into the room. And yeah, really at this point I'm just kind of I'm just doing the finishing touches, kind of putting some details and stuff just to tie the whole build together, and that's about it. I think I'm going to end this voiceover here, but don't worry, there are still screenshots that are going to be coming up in a second. But anyways, if you do want to download this build, it'll be available on the gallery under my EA account ID, which is kalimsiYT. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye everybody.